My honest feeling is I'm going to lose in court because I think the idea is to make an example of me, even though there's no legal evidence to suggest that they should.
But is it true that that you fell asleep?
Yeah, I fell asleep. My problem is quite simple. I've passed out twice in my car in the last year, right? Which is basically my fault for not taking care of myself, but it is not illegal. You know, there are all kinds of legal reasons people pass out. But ultimately, I truly believe this is all going to have to be sorted after the tour.
Are you a bad boy?
No, I mean, this is what I find really hard to understand, is I don't really understand why I'm not being given the benefit of the doubt. It's not like I have a history of drink driving or a history of anything irresponsible, you know, and I'm certainly in a position where I could have been. So I don't really understand this, other than, I guess, the fact that the CPS reads News of the World and believes more than the average person. I don't know. Time to pick my heart up off the floor. Oh, when that love comes down with.
This autumn, when you were in newspapers, there were you and some kind of other person, and they wrote about
completely fictional, by the way.
Yeah, okay, I don't know that, but
well, as you say, you know that. The only reason I say that the way I do is because no one else seemed to know it, even though I was saying it very loudly that I'd never met this person. No one else seemed to care.
I didn't know that either, but the way the press wrote about it, your sex life, and
absolutely,
you was a
like I was some kind of pervert. Yeah. I mean, I think the way they will not allow me to be what I am, which is a successful, happy 43-year-old gay man that should be a role model to any gay person, to show that you know, your ability is more important than your sexuality. Let's go outside. In the sunshine. I know you want to, but you can't say yes. Go outside. In the moonshine. Take me to the places that I love.
But you must have been devastated when.
Well, no, I've never been devastated. I've been furious a few times.
Yeah, but that could have ruined your career. And instead, you went on touring. That's pretty impressive.
Well, I think that none of these things were ever going to ruin my career, but that's because my career is based on my own ability, and I'm lucky. I do enough people like what I do that I can survive these kind of media attacks. But I don't think that some of quite simply put, I don't think some of these media attacks should be legally available. You know, I think some of the words that they've used about me and my sexuality should not be legally available to them. And I think one day that will be the case. But, you know, for the moment, I've had to try and have a sense of humour about it, at the same time as realising how politically important it is that that they can write about people like me in this way.
I read somewhere that you said that there are a lot of hate against you. A lot of people hate you.
Well, I don't really know that people hate me. I think people are aggravated and annoyed by, I think, what they see as a little bit too much good fortune. But I'd say to those people, try living it, you know. Try living what I've lived through the last 15 years. And I'd say that God makes a nice little balance of the situation. I don't think... I think I'm an extremely fortunate person, but I also think that a lot of people would have crumbled under some of the things that I've gone through.